So now something a little different. Part of our move here was also about being able to spend more time on doing what we like to do. And as a matter of fact, I am now spending some time making some 18-karat golden rings. I used to study goldsmithing once upon a time. I haven't been practicing that for many years now, but now the time has come, a little project came up where I'll be making two 18-karat golden rings. And I've set up my workspace here in the temporary space that is at hand, available here. It's cold, but and it's not too bright, not too much light, but we'll have to do for now. And yeah, I'm sharing that with you guys. So I'm lucky enough to have a jeweler's bench, which I made myself together with my father back in the days. So as I mentioned, I haven't been using it for a decade at least. And as you can see, I have started some of the melting works on the gold already. So we'll jump right in. And starting to taper both ends of the shanks, both in this way down as well as reducing the thickness from the middle away. So that's what I'm tapering now, these two shank sides, as much as possible with the roll still. And after that I'll switch to smithing it. So it's time to move from shaping those guys with the rolls to shaping it by hammering them. So we've achieved this shape through rolling, so slightly tapered ring shanks. Now I need to curve it into a circular shape, then fuse it together to create a closed loop of gold. And then I'll finalize the shape by smithing it onto this tool. Both to achieve the final size as well as the final shape. And also that smithed look, that hammered look is what I'm after. Some of you may wonder what kind of metal I'm working with. So I'm working with 18-karat yellow gold. And it turns a bit pinkish because it's an alloy with copper. Now I'm not sure exactly which quantities of copper and gold, and maybe if there is some silver inside, but there is definitely copper inside, which is why this metal turns a bit pinkish, because after glowing it out and quenching it in the pickle bath, the copper molecules come to the surface, which is why it turns a bit pinkish. And the amount of copper is also what makes this particular alloy I'm working with, which is a reused alloy, not a pure new alloy. That's also why it's so tough to work with. I had to re-pour and remelt this metal several times to achieve a homogeneous ingot that I could work with. Basically, it kept on cracking because of impurities and tensions in the metal, which is typical for gold alloyed with a high content in copper. Typically, this kind of gold alloys with a lot of copper are made for pouring rings, not really for working them through rolling, through smithing. That's the result of reusing gold. Good morning. So this morning I'm removing this second ceiling that has been put in here at some point. Basically it's some chipboard that has been hung on some wooden construction on which they've been laying some insulation material that looks like a synthetic material, like polyester or something like this. It's not glass wool nor mineral wool. From my perspective at least. And so yeah, I'm today removing that ceiling. So I'm first starting to remove that insulation material, then I'll knock those wooden panels down and removing this whole thing. Voilà. So that's how it looks in between. So you see this insulation material laying here. So that was that. In the meantime, I have removed the beams on which the ceiling was hanging. They are laying over here. And we've brought those chipboard panels to the trash yard. A small fee was due, but yeah, that was acceptable, it was okay. And in the meantime, I've started the same procedure in the room next door, so I'll show you now. So here you can see the plaster boards that I've knocked down in the meantime. And it was the same idea, so they lowered that ceiling around about 50 centimeters. It was hung on that wooden construction. So I've knocked those plasterboards down. And then on top of those plasterboards, weirdly enough, was these bits of bitumen roofing. They were not laying as if they were there laying by accident, as if someone carefully placed those pieces in between those beams on top of the plasterboards. I really can't make sense of it, but yeah. Bottom line, we'll need to get rid of that as well, together with those plasterboards. Unfortunately, those plasterboards we can't get rid of in the communal trash yard, and we need to bring it to a private recycling company, which is a little more expensive, which is obviously annoying, but well, hell, what should we do? So hit that subscribe button if you want to stay tuned on the next steps for the transformation of those spaces. Ultimately, those spaces we're working in now will become part of our living spaces. Yeah, so hit that subscribe button. Check us out as well on Patreon, on Instagram and on TikTok. I'll put the links in the description as well as in the general channel description. And see you next time, guys.